Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? What is going on? So, ahead of the Fed. It's ahead of the Fed. What do we think is going to happen tomorrow? Are we even going to have just a choppy trading day? Let's see. The VIX still isn't rising that much. A lot of complacency in this market. Maybe it'll be a nothing burger tomorrow. We already know what the Fed's going to pause, but are they going to just say nothing and be data dependent moving forward? Let's see what happens. Good morning, McRangers. Good morning, John. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Royal Palms. Hello, Charles. If could we look at IWM? Or just remind me when I get to the Russell. Good morning, Legion. Hey, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Jacob. The duck, yeah, it's a what duck? What the duck? Falling duck is the best duck. uh, well, the duck is anticipating. The duck's anticipating. Was listening to Ram Dass this morning and thought of you. The best teachers ask for nothing. There, well, maybe I just try to teach. I thank you for that. I really like Ram Dass also. I listen to a lot of stuff like that. A lot of stuff. That's all I'll say. We're not going to turn this into a spiritual video stream. Although I would like to at times. But that's not what's important. We're here for the markets. Good morning, Ted. How are you doing? Haven't seen you as often, Ted. Is everything okay? I'm surprised so many people are tuning in with let's see, we got the optimism index coming in roughly in line, nothing there. Red book why isn't that? Oh, there we go. Red book coming in at 5.5. Oh, I guess Canada's building permits jumped. I don't know where that came from. Uh, oh boy, we got some bill auctions. A 10-year note auction will be interesting at 1 p.m. Eastern, but it's just a quiet day leading into CPI and the FOMC decision tomorrow. We all know there'll be a pause. So the important thing is a press conference. Lily's going on a tear again. Eli Lilly. So other than that, it's mixed to down. Groups. Let me just refresh this again. Is there no? Oh, consumer defensive is 2 basis points higher, and that's the only one. So it looks like at least going into the open, we have a choppy to down day. We'll see if it just turns into a choppy day. Basic materials again down 78 basis points, getting hit. Silver, copper down. Gold's just holding up because of the we could get some volatility in gold tomorrow with the both the FOMC and the CPIs. We have slightly favoring the cut back in September, so that's where that sits, and it's slightly back to 2 cuts. So the market is complacent again. Neutral mode. Schiller P. I'm curious. This is for my own 34.91. Wow. All right. No earnings this morning, really. We got Oracle after the close, trading against some pretty key resistance. So keep an eye on that one. Tomorrow it's all going to be CPI and the Fed, but we do have Broadcom tomorrow afternoon. And then it's just Adobe and Restoration Hardware to close out the week. I was keeping an eye on the dollar index, but we'll get to that in a second. So far, little mini double earlier. Little mini double top earlier today. That got triggered during the European session and completed. So that is all done. Really, my key level of resistance is about 53.73 to 53.75. Anywhere in that, I'll be watching for rollover plays. My key support, we're trading below a minor support level, but the next major support is best back at this 53.40 to 53.43. We'll all be watching for support. Again, unless something changes, I'm erring towards a choppier day. Okay, I mean, look, we've been in a choppy day since really, you've been in a huge range since last Wednesday afternoon and then going into Thursday. You can see this huge range. So this is where I would rather not get caught doing anything silly. There's the top end of that range and the bottom of that range. So I'll just be watching for key resistance, even if it breaks above that 53.73 to 53.75. Yeah, we could just possibly retest a high, but to me, it's be cautious right now going into the numbers in the press conference. It's cautious. We are also at daily cycle tops rolling down, coming from a major divergence on the daily and the weekly. Weekly cycles headed down. You also notice the bottom of that area. I said that 53.40 is right in the area of the prior breakout and the rotation zone. So that's why I'm really watching that on any pullbacks. A lot of times it doesn't have to be more complex. NASDAQ, same difference, although key support is about this 19,050. Below that, you have the top of the rotation zone at 18,970 area. But that's key support. I'll be keeping an eye on yesterday's high and low in the NASDAQ if it can even get to yesterday's low, but same thing. Since last Wednesday afternoon, we've been caught in a huge trading range, just bumping this up a bit to about 19,100 to 19,120 is key resistance, and the key support is still that. The major support level is at 19K. That's the major support level. And then you have the rotation zone just below that, the daily rotation zone. So I'm just going off support and resistance today unless something strange happens. The Dow, again, my key support, if we start breaking it, that will be interesting. If we start breaking below 38,735 area, then my key support comes to 38,640 to 650. Key resistance is still 38,925. So here's that little minor support level, but if that's broken, this 38,735 area, then we have a harmonic cluster back at 38,640, 38,650. The Russell, not in double bottom yet. So you might get a little potential mini double bottom if it can pull back to 2013.9. But then it would have to do some heavy lifting tomorrow. I doubt that would trigger today. So we still haven't closed, at least on the 4 hour below that 62.5 or on the 1 hour. So that's going to be key. If we start closing below 2017, especially on the 4 hour, I'll watch for that bigger pullback. We had a little mini double trigger earlier, just like in the S&P. So really keep an eye on that if you're watching for the pullback trade. In the IWM, I'd be watching, again, with the gap down. Here's your key stuff. In the IWM, you're watching a 199.79. Right about where it's poised to open. This could change in the next 17 minutes. But pre-market, we're trading right around that 75% harmonic, which would put it in potential double bottom territory for a potential trigger tomorrow. Would be shocked if that triggered today, if it even can get set up and then triggers. And I definitely use the right-hand side for any doubles. Other than that, I just use your harmonics for if you're trading IWM. It's that, let me just zoom in. With that 199.79, 199.40, resistance would be 218, then 257. That's the way I'd set that up perfectly, using for shorter term patterns around those harmonic levels. There you go with the IWM. The VIX, there is literally no fear in this thing going into the numbers. It's not even elevated that much. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, but I'm watching yesterday's high and low. The DAX continuing to roll back down now, could potentially close below the 50, which you see the 50 has been pretty significant support, especially on a closing basis. So I'm really watching this to see where it closes today, but we still have the channeling double in play, and the first target's been hit a couple times, but the second target has not yet. So this next target is this 18,285 area. Notes. You could technically have a percent B buy. I would not touch this going into the numbers tomorrow. And what happened to my mouse? Oh boy. Mousy mouse went dead. Now I'm going to have to use a touchpad, which makes it a lot more. Why did that go dead? Let me see if I can get that to come back. All right. Now this is going to be fun to finish a live stream with a touchpad. Nope. All right. So we have, again, I would not be touching the notes or the yields. We have the 10-year auction also today. Tried to break down below yesterday's low a little, but not much. 10-2s, still caught in the range. Dollar index in the short term, we have a little mini double. That may never trigger, but that's the key thing I'd be watching for, the bigger pullback. Again, the dollar index is also potentially going to move. Other than that, I'm watching yesterday's high and then the 105.11 for a closing basis. Crude against the downward channel. This is a very key resistance area. We're getting the cycle tops. So I'm going to start watching for a potential pullback and to see how that sustains. Anything that stays above about 75.40 remains for a potential more significant bottom. If we close below 74.66 as of the most recent high from yesterday, then I'll be watching for the bigger pullback again. Keep an eye on natty gas. If you're trading it from the bullish side, there is a little mini potential double. Long way off from potentially triggering, and the trend is still up, but that could easily pull it back into the consolidation area before. Now it's right, the trigger point is right at the breakout level. The trigger point is right at the breakout level. So that is very, very key support. Gold, again, we had that little mini double yesterday, which is completed. All right, other than that, the key resistance area for me is about 23.40 on a continued rise up today. This is a little corrective channel back into key resistance at this point. Tomorrow, I'd pay attention in case this double triggers. It could get very interesting in gold. In the short term, if it needs to get a strong rally, it needs to follow through with that close still above 23.39, 2400. Silver, still watching for to hit this first key support area at the 50 and the first double target in the channeling double. Copper, not much. Trying to put in a little something short term, but again, these metals, you got a little potential double on copper, but it would have to get a close above the high of 456.50 to trigger. Let me just check something over here. Let me just take a look at something with. Yeah, that should be working. Huh. There we go. All right, I got the mouse working again. There we go. Makes it easier. What else? Yeah, it said you're never in the way. Well, let's see. Sometimes I trade on the touch. Fastest fingers in the wet, boy. Trading on a touchpad, I just don't want to screw up an order. That's a good comment. Dark Screen Sleep. Thank you for tuning in. Trading gold is like dealing with women. Oh boy. Oh boy. I hope Andrew didn't hear that in the background. We're not here today, maybe. Gold always takes my money, but I like silver. You don't have to be a master trading everything. 10-year, the yen still hovering back at that 62.5, but still the low now from the 4th is very key. And the high from the area on the end of May is very key. Still favors, the probability still favors an up move. Euro, keep an eye on this. Euro 107.19 on a closing basis. 107.19. Did this technically qualify for a sloppy double top? Yes, it did. First target hit yesterday. And this would take it, if it gets below that 107.19, 107.08, then you have the major cluster at the 75% harmonic and the final target for the double, 106.80. So those will be key for the euros. Spiders, again, this is where the key support level is about 533, key resistance 536 to 536.20. Watching for erring on the side of that choppier stuff today. So nothing's changed between the futures analysis and the spiders analysis. Same thing for the Qs. Watching for the choppier stuff. The support coming in, we have some significance right around 461.50 and key significant resistance 465, looking to open in the middle of that range, 463.35. Bitcoin getting slightly interesting. You still have the little mini double. Would need the close below 66, roughly 66,259 to trigger a intermediate pullback. So that's the only thing. Might not trigger, but that's the only thing. Been rejected multiple times for that 71,600 price action. You can see it all the way here in the 87.5 harmonic. NVIDIA, what was that spike? Oh, boy, that is a bad tick. NVIDIA, no close above the 62.5 yet. Even you see on the 1 hour, 4 hours. So 122.37 on a little mini 1 hour, then 4 hour follow through close would give us 123.44, 124.51. The support level coming in roughly about 121.17. You got the good old Tesla still not doing anything, so we don't need to look at it. What else do we have in here? KRE. Is there any pattern for a short on the daily? Well, on what time frame? I mean, any rally. What is any rally back to? You still have a little gap left here to an open price, but any rally back to about 47, I'd start watching for a setup. Other than that, you're trading against very major support, so I'd be careful. The better Better thing from my perspective would be a breakdown, slightly lower. Might be able to, if you get that little bounce, do something with it, like, and keep a tight stop. But you're better. I mean, you needed to follow through and get a close below about 45.75 to follow through on the short side. Not saying this won't break down, but that is key for any follow through. Yeah, that is a true statement, Jacob. That is a very true statement. You know, that kind of stuff happens at the worst possible time, too. Like in the middle of a live stream. Apple, we had the first day of the Apple event. Markets did not like that so much yesterday. A little mini, mini double right there. You know, trading against very key resistance, though. So final target would be about 191.50 area. But the markets did not like, I thought it was a big sort of nothing for putting Chat GPT into Siri. Great. It doesn't look like you have an. I hear you, Siri. Other than that, that is about it. This is just a day to not do, as I say on Fridays, don't do stupid. This is a day to not do stupid in my book. Not do stupid. I'll be watching key support and resistance as I outlined earlier. Minor going into the open. Minor resistance is this 53.60. The minor support area, see if we got some significance, is right about that 53.50 to 53.51. That's your minor levels. Otherwise, I already outlined the major levels. All right, with that, there's nothing else we need to hold up anybody's time for. I'll see you back for CPI Wednesday tomorrow. Everyone have a wonderful trading day. Bye for now.